How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here and welcome back to another video. Now today I want to discuss yet another Realme smartphone, and this one is going to be called the Realme C11. Now in terms of specifications, we don't really know much about it apart from a few leaks that we saw, which included a 5000 mAh battery with support for 10-watt charging, as well as the price of the phone, which is supposedly 6,999 rupees, which translates to around the $100 mark or around the 350 dirham price tag. Now, as far as other specifications go, we can of course expect up to 8 and 12 gigabytes of RAM, but what's more interesting is that this phone is gaming focused, and that's where this first official piece of information comes very useful. So this is from Realme Malaysia, and they basically go on to say that the C11 will be the world's first Helio G35 running smartphone, and this processor from MediaTek isn't really even out there yet. But according to this post on Twitter by Abhishek Yadav, if we go ahead and look at what the G35 is made of, it's gonna have a flagship A76 and G76 cores. So if these cores for the CPU are clocked at 2 GHz and the GPU may be clocked at 800 MHz, they're still going to be more powerful than the MediaTek G70 Helio chipset, which is very interesting. And if this phone retails for the price that it's supposed to be retailing for, it's going to make a huge dent in this affordable gaming smartphone lineup. With that 5000 mAh battery, maybe 8 gigabytes of RAM, you could be looking at a very decent offering. Now, one of the sacrifices this phone does make is that it will come with a HD Plus display. I think with a lower price tag, Realme likes to do that. So HD Plus display, which might negatively impact your gaming performance, but it might have stereo speakers. So that might be a way to make up for that. It might have some sort of thermal dissipation system which avoids overheating to a certain extent. These are some of the things we could speculate. Aside from that, nothing really is official about the phone apart from this design. So according to Realme, this is official Realme information. The phone is going to rock this design, and if we go ahead and look at the design in full, this is what the Realme post teased at when it came to design. Now, that stripe in the middle with Realme branding for some might look really good. For me, it doesn't really look as good as any smartphone should. We don't know if that thing is made of glass or plastic. With the price, I'm assuming that it will be made of plastic, but we might be wrong. We're starting to hear more about the phone, so maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll hear official information about the C11. But one thing to note is that the camera is actually covered by that golden leaf. Now, these leaves at the back could point to 5 lenses on the back, which is something that I'm speculating. But if this is a gaming centric phone geared towards people who want to game, I don't think the camera is going to be that important. So maybe we're looking at a triple or a quad camera setup. Going by Realme, they want to have as many cameras as they can on their smartphone. But if they're really geared towards making this a gaming smartphone, they might as well just go with one camera capable of, taking your decent pictures in normal lighting conditions without having to focus much on it. And that way they can really focus on the gaming aspect of the phone. But if this turns out to be a reality, especially at its price, it's definitely going to be an interesting product. I think it's going to come to international markets in due time. Of course, in terms of software, it's going to be Realme OS, it's going to be Android 10 for sure, and we don't know really much about the display. HD Plus, we don't know if it's going to be a hole punch, if it's going to be a teardrop style, but around the 6 to 6.5 inch size is what I expect it to be. I think it's going to be an LCD panel because, again, at that price, an AMOLED panel is asking for a bit too much. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the smartphone in the comments. I think it's gonna make an international appearance sometime soon, especially in India, because this is based in Malaysia, so we're gonna see it first in Malaysia, of course, but I think this is gonna come to India in the Narzo lineup. And if you don't know what the Narzo lineup is, it's a sub-brand of Realme, and they've basically announced 2 smartphones, the Narzo 10 and the Narzo 10A. I've made videos on that over on this channel. If you want to go check them out, a link to them will be above. But I think the Narzo 11 could basically be the C11, and again, with Narzo rebranding Realme smartphones, this makes complete sense and is not something that we shouldn't expect. But let me know what you guys think. Are you in the market to buy an affordable gaming smartphone that's focused heavily on games like PUBG or Fortnite? Or do you just think this is another phone that Realme is trying to launch to generate that initial interest for that processor and then is going to die out? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.